Koen Duncan, my friend.
Jadee.
Legend. Legendary, you know.
That's what I say.
Man, we've been trying to do this for, for a while now.
Yeah.
How long we trying to get this interview going? It seemed like years.
I think we started talking about it last year.
Yeah, last year end.
Yeah.
And we done almost to the end of the
The
year
end of the
already.
year, yeah.
Man, let me just do this. Let me just give you your flowers one time. All right, I'm going to read this bio. I want you all to listen carefully. Trinidad-born gospel artist Koen Duncan, a.k.a. Kairos, was born on the 15th of June 1983. And at the age of 13, he started his musical journey with a saxophone and took to the instrument quickly. A couple years later, he joined a band called Broadway Boys. I thought it had an international with that, you know, but
Yes, Broadway Boys International.
Broadway Boys International, started writing songs and got the opportunity to put two of his songs to their debut album, Rima.
Yeah.
After being in the band for a few years, he transitioned into his own solo career and signed with the infamous Show Gardner label Flow Masters. Koen did his first song with the album, Flow Masters, called Bring Down, which is a classic up to today. Again, goosebumps reading this. After some years with the label, he started doing his own productions, and he did his next two albums, Shine High and Rebel, with a different nature. He also did an EP by the name of Trinity. Over his musical career, he has gained national awards, a Marlin Awards, and 4 UGI awards. Koen has been consistent over 20 years and has gained a faithful following because of his unique style, his love for God, and his down-to-earth personality. Now a producer, a videographer, we're going to get into that, and looks forward to helping upcoming artists with their ministry and plans to release new music in 2024.
Yeah.
How you feel me reading that? How that feels? Hearing about yourself like that in your bio.
It feels like another person. One, it feels like a lifetime away. Like when that journey started, it feels so far away. Like I would hear songs that I did in my earlier years, and I have no recollection of even recording those songs. So it really feels like you're talking about somebody else. Yeah.
So this interview we will have time to really talk about your life,
Yeah.
you know, from the beginning coming up. We really wanted to focus on what I think is a burning question, you know, what happened to Koen Duncan, why he fall off the market, you know, leaving noticeable dent in the gospel fraternity, right? But before we get to that, where did your musical journey start? What was the inspiration?
I would say my dad, you know. My dad was a big part of my musical journey. He was a musician, and he would always be in music. He'd always be practicing in the house. So myself and my brother, we were always in that space, in that musical space. Daddy always playing music, he always practicing.
Right.
And when I turned 12, he placed me in music school. And I think he did the same for my brother. So,
and of course, your brother is also on
Yes.
his way
yeah.
to being a legend himself.
Yes.
Probably we could talk to him a couple of years.
Yeah.
You need to get some years on there. You need to get some years on there, your belt line. You understand? It's about the war veteran. Why the war veteran?
It was a song. It was a song, and from the song, because before that, people used to, you know, it's like veteran, and then the song was like, that was the lock, everybody started saying veteran after that song. Yeah. Because the song, the chorus was, some call me the war veteran. You know?
Right.
But, you know, I was just saying, well, some may call me that, but people run with the veteran part, and that was...
Right. You are, not only to me, but I could only imagine every gospel artist. We use the word legend so loosely, but if there's a superhero in gospel music, you would be my Batman. you would be my Superman.
Bless God.
And my Spider-Man, you know, like all of them combined. When I came out of soca music, I had little to no respect for a lot of gospel music.
Okay.
Because I come out of soca with a kind of energy and a authentic kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, I was looking and watching the vibes, and this is why I was saying to myself, like, I feel like nobody, until one day in Barataria, excuse me, in Barataria, the Himalaya Club, and Broadway Boys were there, and I said, these fellas different. And then I heard your voice, and I say, this, brother, you on the level of Boujou and Capleton and that type of song, you know?
Yeah.
So I just want to give you flowers and say, man, thank you for being my superhero. You are, when I call people my general, I don't use it. I use it for people who I salute as my general in music. You are my literal general.
I am
and
humbled.
I want to say thanks for doing this. You just came out of Jaron, this is concert.
Yeah.
You came on stage. Now we miss you because my wife and I, who's also on her way to being a legend.
Yes. I would say she's already a legend.
She had to leave. She ain't there yet. But we had to leave, and we missed the experience.
Yeah.
But we, you know, because of the internet.
Yeah.
And even the energy, I feel like the whole atmosphere shift when you went on stage, you know. People was out of their minds. First question, how it felt being back on stage at that moment in such a massive crowd?
Firstly, I didn't even think I would get that kind of welcome. Right?
You have to be kidding.
No, there's a reason why. I've been off the scene, and the crowd changed, right? So we have a whole lot of youths now, right? But in addition to the youths singing the lyrics to the songs, it was a mixed crowd,
right?
So I recognized a lot of people around our age were there as well. So imagine the younger ones singing the songs, plus they were excited about seeing me minister again. So it was a whole, you know, from the time I walk on and the song started.
You was nervous?
I was nervous until I hold the mic.
Koen Duncan just get nervous?
Yeah.
The Batman of gospel.
When I hold the mic, it was like riding a bicycle again.
One time.
And tapping into God, the Holy Spirit did his thing.
Yeah, I heard some screams coming out. I was like, that is a new kind of warfare scream. Man, let's just get into it one time. What happened? Why you fall off the scene? Everybody was saying in the Instagram shares, oh God, you know, long I ain't see this man, you know, long. So clearly, you've been off the scene. What happened?
As you would know, I went through a divorce, right? And right after the divorce, well, not too long after the divorce, COVID hit. So there was the leading up to the divorce where people didn't recognize, because I'm not in a lot of circles. So a lot of people didn't know what was going on, right? But then there was the divorce and people started finding out. And not too long after was COVID. And I got the opportunity, because COVID now happened, you can't work. Gospel, being a producer and ministry was my job.
Right.
So now you can't work. So I got the opportunity to work. And I said, you know what, I'm going to take this opportunity. So the opportunity was in Tobago. It was supposed to be for a week. Went across and work, and it got extended, and it lasts for the entirety of COVID.
You felt like the divorce had any effect on you being invited to minister and sing?
I think so, yeah.
How that felt?
On one side, I could understand it, because I grew up in a kind of a religious setting where you would know what's coming.
Right.
So I think that kind of prepared me for the less calls to no calls kind of a thing. But then too, there was COVID. So even though it happened, I can't say that...
It felt like you was off the scene a little bit longer than COVID, though.
It started to wind down, because of what was going on with the marriage and going through that season in my life, I wasn't bringing out music, but because it wasn't very public, people were still calling for the ministry.
Right.
So it's when I think was about a couple months leading up to the actual divorce. That's when I said, you know what? My headspace, everything that's happening right now, I need to pull back, and I pulled back totally, and I started letting people know, and I'm ministering right now.
Oh, you were telling people?
Yeah.
Did anybody reach out, gospel artists, to find out, hey, what's going on? Because, you know how the talk is on the ground. Sometimes, because we're gospel artists, if you're not on stage, they automatically deem you as backslide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
was that experience like? Did anybody reach out?
Yeah, people reach out. I felt the love. I can't say that it wasn't, that I didn't. It wasn't a lot of people, but the people who matter, they reached out.
How you dealt with the rumors, if there were any?
There were rumors. It was hard. I can remember somewhere I went away, but that's not important. A guy met me and he say, I hearing about you, I hearing about you. What going on with you, boy? And in my mind, I start with a question.
Right.
Ask me something, but don't do me that. And I would visit some churches and get the kind of everything all right kind of tap.
Yeah,
the tap.
Yeah.
But
I know the tap. I've been there.
yeah.
And or the rub on the back.
Yeah. But I think that COVID period and being able to go to Tobago to work saved me from a lot. Yeah.
When we hear the word Koen Duncan, Broadway Boys, most artists at the time, which you would say loved or popular artists, they always connect them to a church.
Yeah.
Right? Open Bible would have been a name that's synonymous or connected to Koen Duncan. Is that the same situation now in terms of your connection with church?
It's not the same situation, but the love is still there. I'm still connected with some people there. But it's not the same situation. The church that myself and my wife visit is not it's not an open Bible church. It's a full gospel church, but it's not an open Bible church.
What are your thoughts on covering? In terms of back in the day, this for me, we couldn't go and sing or do nothing without getting a permission from a pastor. I want to go and sing here, you had to get a letter from your pastor.
Yeah.
I don't think that really exists. What are your thoughts? You think that is necessary still? Is that clamp needed or necessary? What are your thoughts on covering like that?
I think covering is very important, but I think we have a tendency to look at or use the word covering when it's actually control. Right. And I had the opportunity to speak to a friend of mine who is a theologian. He's very versed in the word, and he said to me, Koen, listen. Covering is very important, but do not think that somebody could cover you and not be your friend, and not know you and understand you.
Right.
So if somebody is distant from you, they can't really cover you. So look at how they relate to you. Look at how close that person is to you. Look at how concerned they are about you and what's going on with you. If your phone does ring and hey, how you going today? You're on my mind. I'm praying for you. If you have that kind of a relationship with a leader, from that relationship, covering comes.
Right.
You understand? But covering doesn't come from somebody just saying, listen, you go to my church, you are on my stage. So you need to do what I tell you to do because you are now covered by me. That's not how covering comes about.
I like that. Yeah. I know we were sharing before we started recording that there were some things that's on your heart. Let me just give you the opportunity to now to express yourself.
Well, it's just really what I've been seeing with gospel music, and I don't want to be the type of those you would hear old people say, in my days it wasn't like this, I don't, I don't want to be that type of a person.
In my
But,
days, it wasn't this. Excuse me.
But if I'm being honest, the camaraderie, the love, and the togetherness, the openness and transparency that I saw and had coming up, I don't see it now. Now, I haven't been on the scene for a little while.
Right.
So I don't want to say that what I am saying now is what actually is happening. But as the little bit that I've seen,
Right.
I'm a bit concerned because one of the things that helped me and that was and is very important is community. And if we
Correct.
don't have community, we don't have people we could lean on,
Correct.
then what really exists is a shell of a thing. So there is the appearance of unity and togetherness and all of this, when really and truly that doesn't exist. And if that don't exist, then what we doing, we be selling a message that we ain't even buy into.
Wow.
So we have to be careful. We have to be teachable. We have to be humble, and we have to see this as something that could really transform lives. And it's not just an outlet for a creative, because we are all creatives. So having an outlet is important, but it is not about that. It's bigger than that. And if it's bigger than you, then it's really worth it, and it's worth being subject to the call. Yeah.
I like to call what we're going through right now the changing of the guards.
Yes.
Right there, new gospel artists
Yes,
ushering.
yeah.
In terms of what you said, what you think the more seasoned gospel artists could do to break that, venom of what you're noticing?
It's all about humility, you know. And I don't mean humility with, because, sometimes
You think certain people cocky?
Yeah.
Call them names.
No.
All right, but I mean, you just feel like it's just the atmosphere.
It's just the atmosphere. And it's all right to want to have your space, especially before you minister. But I think, let me say it this way.
All right.
I learned that the more popular you get, or the more exposure you get, your humility is supposed to surpass that.
Wow.
Right? So, because it's about servanthood, right? And we are all servants. Anytime my stardom surpasses my humility, it's no longer servanthood. Right?
True.
Because if it is, I want to reach people for God, for Christ, I have to be on my P's and Q's about pride, about humility, about what it is, because a lot of people think being quiet is being humble,
Right.
but some of the quietest people could be prideful,
Yeah.
and some of the loudest people could be humble.
That's right.
Because it's about your composure. It's about your personality. It's about your will to be under God's rule and do His work and His will. You see, when it starts to become about you and the things you could gain from this gift, I think that's when you start to enter dangerous waters. Look at how I mash up the crowd.
Yeah.
You can't really talk to me. You see, that kind of attitude, it leads to problems, because you're not always going to be where you're at. You know?
That's true.
One day, your season or your time will pass, and you want people to be able to say, you did a good work. You want God to be able to say, faithful servant, I see you. You understand?
I understand.
Yeah, so...
There's a narrative that always keep coming and going in and out of season in the church where gospel artists is concerned. It really don't happen with pastors, but it happens with the gospel ministers in terms of if they should charge money, how much they should charge money, who should do it for free, and these kind of things. What are your thoughts on being paid to sing the gospel?
I had a big struggle with that, because
Really?
I've heard the sermons where pastors would say things like, gospel artists, they're only concerned about money, you know? And I say, Lord, I don't want to be out of your will.
Okay.
So I'm going to give a year to this thing. I'm not going to charge anything for a year. And I want to see if this is really the way it's supposed to be. Jadee, anybody who could have taken advantage of that. Listen to me.
I thought you was going to say was the best
Jadee,
decision you made in your life because you know the $1 million came.
I will never do that again.
Oh my God.
Never ever will I do that again. Because we have to remember, when God gave us this ministry and this gift, you are the custodian. So you are in charge. You are the one managing this. And if people have the opportunity to take from it without it costing them anything, without they understand and listen, you have to put back, because this is something that has to continue. It's not for the now. It's not for just this. You know. People think that the 15 minutes on stage, that is why you're giving an artist X amount. No, it's so that that minister could continue doing what he does.
Wow.
And the only way he could continue doing what he does is if you understand that you have a part to play. Everybody has a part to play. And your part is to support. Yeah.
You think everybody should be, like one time the fraternity had a union and was trying to give everybody the same amount. So let me just say, $3,000 for Koen, $3,000 for Positive, $3,000 across the board. They were saying that everything should be even, kumbaya. How you think it should be? How you think person should charge? A gospel artist might say, how you think I should charge? What should I charge?
Oh no, you can't. You can't give everybody the same thing. You're worthy of your due. You're worthy of it. You have sowed, Jadee, a lot more than somebody who is upcoming. And because of that, because of what it takes now, because the more you do, right, is the more you grow. And the more you grow is the more you have to do. Because you're not going to, the producer that was doing music for you when you started is not the producer you're going by today. The quality of videos that you was putting out before is not the quality you're putting out today. So where you are at now, it costs you more. So if it costs you more, you know, well, all right, I have to charge based on what this is costing me. The guy who is now coming up, it's not costing him as much as it's costing you.
And then he might be good too.
He might be good.
He might be good. He just need to work on his craft.
Well, that as well, because there is entertainment in this, as much as people don't want to talk about.
Well, that's a whole next interview by itself. There is entertainment.
There is entertainment in it.
What? Expound. Because you know the E word is close to the F word in the church. The entertainment word is just as bad. He entertaining. He's not a minister. Those E's and F's.
I think,
ravel it out.
All right. So I'm going to, you have to follow me here, right?
I'm following. We have time.
This thing called worship music, gospel music in the church. We lift music up to a place of anointing. Right? So music exists in a realm by itself in Christendom. So anytime I could write a book of poems. Nobody will have a problem with it. I could write a poem about Trinidad, a poem for my mom, a poem for my wife, a poem for the vagrant that I see down the road. But if I put music to it,
right?
Why Jesus not in that song? Why is this song I am hearing on radio does not have the gospels in it? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Wow.
That is a problem for people because of where we place music. Now, this is the strange thing. And I wonder if people sit down and think and have discussions with God and one another, or we just have a whole set of traditional ways that we just holding on to. If I am coming to an event, and the reason why you're bringing me to the event is because the young people are going to come. You don't think it's because they're going to be entertained?
Wow.
That's why they so they're not coming Bible study, they're not coming prayer meeting, they're not coming other things in the church. So why you think they're coming to see me? They're being entertained. At the same time they're being entertained, they're being ministered to. You understand? When people follow Christ, right? A lot of them, they followed Christ because he did miracles.
Right.
Not because he was the Christ. A lot of them, they didn't care about that.
They coming to see.
Yo, I see a man who I know was blind for years. That man opened the eye. So I love that. Do it again. It's entertainment for some.
Wow.
But
For
for
some,
Christ,
yeah.
for Christ, it was purpose. You understand? So we had to be able to be open-minded enough to call a thing a thing. You know, call a spade a spade.
Yeah,
People come
yeah.
and they jump it up and they clapping and they have a good time in the presence of the Lord. They were entertained.
Point blank.
Yeah.
You listen to gospel artists now? Where are you in the sphere of what's going on?
I don't follow a lot of them because when I went through my period, I unfollow everybody. Right?
Serious?
Yeah, everybody.
You want to follow me?
I think so. I think so. And I'm going to explain why. I will explain. Right?
Man, even lie. You know? I would have lied in that situation. Bro, I would have lied right there. And I say, you know what, Lord? And I set it up. I say, in my mind, Lord, I'm going in. I say, I can't follow you, dog, because, you know, you're my boy.
Yeah.
Before you don't follow everybody.
Everybody. Promoters, gospel artists, friends. Once they were posting about a concert, an event, something to do with music, unfollow. Yeah.
I ask that because I'm going to say who you feel impressed by. Any one of the gospel artists, the new ones, the Gen Zs.
Oh, so like, because we know the Nathaniels, the Jarons, the...
Yeah, them is not
But-
Gen Zs. Them boys all, you know. Remember, we are more or less like
the Greys.
we are the Greys. You know, they're
Yeah.
our sons.
Yeah.
And the
Then
children.
there's the younger ones. Well, I don't know that younger crew. I don't know them. I don't know them. And that would have developed within the past 6-7 years. You're talking about
Right.
now.
Yeah. All right, I'll put you on to some, and then we'll have a meeting with them.
Yeah.
Me, you, Sean Daniel, Isaac
Yeah.
Blackman, get all of them in a room
Yeah.
and talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they need some training.
Okay.
It's not the same. It's not the
Wow.
same. Kairos.
Yeah.
Why the name change? And how you feel about, it's just my opinion, or what I feel. You know, sometimes people do a name change and it sticks. And I'm not sure if Kairos stuck. You came up in Jaron concert and it was Koen Duncan all over again.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, why you feel it didn't stick? How you feel about it not sticking? Are you going to go back to Koen Duncan? Or talk to us about it first,
Yeah.
why the name Kairos, and then talk to us about not staying.
I want to get back. I want to explain about the unfollower because I don't want people to think that I just unfollow them. So I want to
All right,
I
clear.
want to explain. So we could explain after or
No, we can do it now.
okay.
We can do it now.
So when
Well,
I was
I don't
going,
care about them, you know. If you say what you say, then go ahead. You want to follow them, you want to follow them.
when I was going through that whole period, I started getting panic attacks, right?
Oh, my.
And the panic attacks were really bad. I would get them in my sleep. I would feel them coming on, like if I awake, and I could breathe and, you know, go through it.
Was
and
that
be
bad?
good. Bro, I started getting panic attacks in my sleep, jump out my sleep, can't breathe. So walking around the room, holding on to things, can't breathe, thinking to myself, Koen, breathe. You know what I mean? And it got bad to the point where I was afraid to go to sleep.
Were you sorry, because I have experience of that. Was it chest hurting and stuff like
Chest
that?
tight, can't get
Like you
oxygen.
go and get a heart attack?
Not even like I go and get a heart attack, like I'm going to run out of the air I have.
Wow.
So it had times I would get a panic attack and I thinking to myself, yo, this is it. I can't get oxygen in my lungs. This is it, you know? So I started talking to myself, started praying. At first I thought, and you know, like people would talk about spirits that would hold them down. And they would get up and they can't move. I said, I wonder if it's something like that. But then I said to myself, well, it can't be that because I'm able to walk around, I'm able to move, I just can't breathe. right? My heart racing.
And then because of the church sometimes make you think everything is demonic or spiritual. That time it's not physical.
Did more research, spoke to some people, and they say, yo, you're having panic attacks, right? And I say to myself, if I continue with what's going on in my mind, this thing will continue, right? So I dealt with it on a spiritual level. I started praying about it. I dealt with it on a psychological level, where I unfollowed everybody and everything that reminded me of music, anything gospel, anything ministry, because I needed to be able to go through this period and heal and be ministered to by God and be built back up. You understand?
I understand.
And thank God for my wife. She helped a lot, praying for me, being there, and over some time, it started to subside until I don't have them anymore.
We have the wife comment in my notes, but I don't want to get to it just yet because
Okay. Okay.
you being my superhero is hard. I didn't think that my superhero would go through panic attacks, but it's real, and it is, I think, even more now happening. I don't know if it's a season. First person I ever heard experience what you're experiencing is Nisa.
Okay.
And, well, with her, she thought it was heart attack. So every minute we going in the hospital.
Wow.
Every other night, you know what I mean? Until we just, hospital is like we second home.
Yeah.
But she's now understanding and through education.
Yeah.
And just, prayer and dealing with it, she's doing a whole lot better. So, Kairos.
Yes. Kairos came from God ministering to me that he's going to do something new and something different. He started giving me different songs. The songs that God gave me, it didn't come out yet.
Okay.
I believe that it will.
Why does it take so long to bring out songs? Ever since I know you, other artists dropping songs every 6 months, everything. You have always been. But it don't matter because you come back on Jaron show after 15,000 years and it's just like, But why it takes so long to put music out?
Because I do it all, from the music, the message, the melody, everything. It comes together. So it's not just writing a song and carrying it for somebody and say, produce this for me.
Right.
From the bass line to the drums to the keys, everything works in unison, and it comes from God speaking to me or an idea I have,
So you don't like jumping on people's rhythms?
Yeah, I do rhythms, not as much, but
No, not you doing rhythms. If producers produce rhythms and they call you, you don't really like to do that.
I would do that. I don't have a problem doing that, but it had to speak to me. Like I had to feel like, I hear it, so I could do something on this. It's not just I have a rhythm and doing nothing on that kind of thing. No, if you send a rhythm and I get something, then I get something because it's just that. I get songs. I don't just write songs, and I'm not saying that as a tips, but
you don't pen songs.
I would pen songs. But what I'm saying is the whole scheme of the song, the theme of it,
everything downloaded.
Everything is a literal download. Yeah.
You don't go and try to figure out and say, bust in your head, where this coming from,
Because we have the gift, Jadee, we could do that. And I've done it in the past.
Right, all right.
But over time...
I start to feel a little bad here. Because I say, well, I don't always get songs download nothing. I be like, what to put here, boy? And I scratching my head. But thank God it happens to you too.
Yeah.
Oh, bless God for that. So how you feel about the name not sticking? Is it that you're in business?
No, I don't.
You don't feel offended when people still call you Koen?
Because I didn't take away, I didn't subtract my name. I just added Kairos. So if people want to call me Koen Duncan, that's fine. That's fine. But going forward, like releasing songs and doing certain things, you would see Kairos. And it has a lot to do with me understanding church, ministry, kingdom, community, Christianity, coming into the fullness and into the light where these things are concerned. Kairos was good.
Yeah. Tell me something. Grammys. You were invited to be a guest to represent not only Trinidad and Tobago, your brand, yourself, your history, and they say, but you have one song. What would that one song be from Kairos?
Steady.
That's the new one.
Well, it's not really new. Steady is a couple years now, couple years well. But yeah, steady.
That's your favorite song of out of your catalog?
It's not my favorite, but the amount of testimonies that come from that song, you get a platform like that, you have to bless people.
For those who may not know, just give us probably a first song chorus.
You are my anchor, Lord, you hold me steady. When the winds of life will blow me down, you are my savior, yeah, you're always ready to come to my rescue, yes. You are my anchor, Lord, you hold me steady. When the winds of life will blow me down, you are my savior, you're always ready to come to my rescue, yes. So me sing, never let me go, Jesus, no, never let me go. Hold me steady, never let me go, Jesus, no, never let me go. Always with me, never let me go, Jesus, no, never let me go. Hold me steady, never let me go, Jesus, no, never let me go. Always with me. Yeah.
Where were you, or what were you going through when that song came to you?
Bro, that was when well, I don't want to say I know because you know how people would receive that, but that is when I knew my marriage was over.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Steady was that song when I knew, like, yeah, boy, this is, yeah.
God is a God of second chances.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want to go down the road of what the church thinks about marriage, remarriage, thing. It's not a theology interview.
Yeah.
All right? We all agree that God is a God of second chances.
Yes.
Love, finances, your house get blew down, you get a second chance, you build a new house.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Your second chance. You know when I know somebody's in love with their wife? There's a couple people I know that you cannot speak without them, and in few minutes pass, you ain't talking about the wife.
Yeah.
All right? Few of them. And from the time we came to this beautiful hotel, shout out to the Car Hotels again.
Yes.
You, every 2 words, you are speaking about your wife.
Yeah.
What impact that she has made on your life? And who is she to you? And she's your wife, but who is she really to you?
Bro, in our foundation, there are pillars. God is a pillar. Your community would be a pillar. My wife is a pillar.
Wow.
You know, in my lowest, Jadee, you go make me start to cry. Eh? In my lowest, she was there, and the kinda was there is the kind of I'm not even sure how I responding to you in this time because my head and my emotions are out of it. But you are steady and you are stable in this friendship because we started off as friends, of course. And just letting you know I'm praying for you.
Wow.
Later. You see that? Because I wasn't getting a lot of it. Even though I was getting it other places, it was consistent from this young lady. And I'll give you a little story. When we got married, we
like stories because
we started clashing as any married couple when you're now married.
what, big argument and thing?
Well, not big argument, but boisterous. Not.
I remember she's an artist too, eh?
Yes.
She don't look like she's to be messed with.
Nah, she don't play. She do play. But yeah, we would clash ever so often. And she said, and Daisy thing with her, she's wise and she's have those moments where she said to me, she said, we need to talk to somebody. I said, all right, yeah, I for that. You know? And she didn't just say that. Homegirl went and find somebody who is a Christian and who's a professional, right? So when she come and she tell me, she say, I find somebody, I find a place. All right. Boom, 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 it's Tuesday, whatever, whatever. We reached down there. And that experience changed me for the better. You understand? So it took that insight and that step from my wife. Because, you know, as man, sometimes we like, yeah, we go get through this, we go take. But she saw that, yo, yeah, let's talk to somebody, let's do this. And sitting with that therapist, she was able to guide us through so many landmines that I didn't even know existed. That now we are at a place where is only fruit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was always scared of her, you know.
Serious.
I've always been intimidated.
Yeah.
Yeah, she don't speak much.
Yeah.
And then rap girls, I don't trust rap girls. I don't trust rap girls. And then, you know, she was very, very hard to figure out because she don't talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if she might shoot. I don't know what she was in the past, you know, them South people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I heard,
Yeah.
because I don't know, did you all keep your relationship on the rap? Because when I heard, I was like, well, that makes sense. He's Batman, she's a shooter. You know?
Yeah. It was
Gangsters in Christ.
Yeah, it was because it started off as a friendship. And remember, bam, COVID hit, and we are friends. So everybody on the internet talking, nobody not moving around.
Right.
So
there wasn't.
we wasn't out and about. So to people, when it is we got married, they were like, you know?
Yeah, it wasn't. Was it a quick turnover, or like you all? Because all from South, right?
Yeah.
You would have known her.
Yeah.
Was that somebody? Well, of course, you know, Koen Duncan. In your marriage, you ain't watching nobody else.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
But I guess it would have a time when you're out of your marriage.
Yeah.
Is she somebody that you thought you would ever probably laid eyes on?
No. And there's the thing. When we started being friends and talking, of course, she's a beautiful person. But my head not in that space. You understand? We talking as friends, praying for each other. I am thankful for the friendship and the support. And as we are going along, God is nudging me, the Spirit is nudging me. Hey, there is more to this. And as time going on, I am there talking to God. God, don't do me this, you know, because if you do me this, then people going and talk. And I know you when it is you're pushing me in a particular direction. You push me in this direction, and it could be a whole scene.
Yeah.
I get divorced not too long ago, a couple of years ago. So now you're pushing me in this direction.
Bacchanal.
You understand? So in my mind, I'm like, God, what you doing? What you doing? Until it reached the place where we love each other, and we are talking about marriage, and are saying, Gil, if we are to get married, God gonna have to do it, because I put forth the money talk first. I ain't no money to get married.
You know, you're telling Nisa a nice story. That's why she's laughing behind the camera. But go ahead, continue.
Wow. Because I say, well, I don't have no money to get married. God know what He is doing. We're going to leave this in God's hands, right? Bro, 2 weeks after, I was on a boat to Tobago, had a job that was paying good enough. Actually, not paying good enough. There's the most money I was working for ever.
Right.
And I put it to God. I said, God, if you want me to get married to this young lady, you go make a way. And I went and sleep, thinking to myself, I had some years, not knowing. I go in and get a call in a couple of days. Yeah, bro, what you up to? What you doing? Yeah, we have an operation in Tobago. You could come out to work. And I am like, wait, so like I have no more excuses. You know what I mean? And then bam, started saving my money. The amount of money that we needed to for the marriage is how much we have.
Right.
So I said, all right, we have the money now. Place, we do have a place. Going on the internet, and the first landlord I call, I go and talk to this man, and he's the perfect landlord. So we have a place. We have a place, we have the money to get married. So God is like, yeah, what are you going to do now? Be a challenge, man.
It's you are saying, and I will interview myself some other time because it's about you. You know what I mean? That's
So,
when you know that the Lord.
I had to reach to the place. I had to pray myself to the place where the voices of people doesn't matter as much as being obedient.
Yeah, and while you were speaking, people sometimes, the church,
Yeah.
which I had my own issues with when I was going through it, feel like if there's always like on top, and they rejoice when you fall, you know.
Yeah.
But I just always say, you know, everybody had their own opportunity to go through what they had to go through, how they go through it, you know.
Yeah.
Let's get back quickly to the music. Do you feel that you are part of the gospel scene still?
I don't think so. And I'm not saying this because I'm looking for invites or feeling a type of way. But I don't feel so. And I think it's because God is doing something, you know, something bubbling, right? What that thing is, I can't say as yet. I have an idea of what it is. I can't say or I don't want to say as yet. But yeah. Something
So if you start to get invites,
I've been getting invites.
you still them now?
Yeah.
But why don't tell them call me? You can recommend. So all right, but seriously, so you turn down invitations?
Yeah. That's why I haven't done any singing for almost 5 years. For almost 5 years, 4 years plus. No singing. So people call. Yeah.
When would you start? You feel like you want to receive the start back, taking invitations.
I'm not going to act like I know what God is going to do.
Because they came out to Jaron.
Yeah, I came out to Jaron. And I need to explain this. A guy messaged me, and he said, "Well, it's Jaron, so you come out with that kind of a well, it wasn't in a bad way, but he was just thinking to himself that you ain't come to no more events. People inviting you. We thinking you retire, but you come out to Jaron event. You know, Jaron called me 3 times to come out to this event, and I'm not trying to say that to say he's a big artist and Jaron needed to call me. He did not. All those people came there to see Jaron, right?
Correct.
I think he called because of the love and the fact that he wanted to see
to give
me
you
on
flowers.
stage. Yeah, me on stage ministering again to be able to honor me, right? So he called the first time. I tell him, Jaron, I'm not doing any ministry. I'm not singing. Right? He said, all right. He said, cool. He called back another time, and I tell him, I said, bro, I'm real sorry, but you know,
serious.
Yeah, and he called again. You know, it's either 2 or 3 times. But and I'm saying this again. He did not call to beg me to sing. You know, people would want to run away with that narrative.
Right.
He called because of the love and the fact that he would have liked to see me, you know, at the event. And the 3rd time he called, he said something that ministered to me, and it was something that the pastor said at the church we visit. And when the pastor said it, it stood out to me, and I went home with that. And then Jaron called, I think, the next day, and he said the exact same thing. And the Lord said, you have to go to this event and minister.
Right.
You know? And that's how I ended up there.
That was just a moment in time.
Yeah,
he called me, Buffanisa. And I was like, bro, so what about me? I love him. He's my little brother. I cannot be more proud of anybody now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I said, so what about me? He says, well, you know, you could just stand up behind your wife. And I was like, you know what? I rock with that. You know? I rock with that. Shout out to Jadee. His heart.
Yeah. And
when people start to understand his heart, they would have not that they already have a respect for him, I think they would see him in a different light.
Yes, and that's why he called my phone.
A different light.
And I'm saying this again, Jaron don't need to call me to sing for any event. You understand?
Right.
And I think that's humility. That is
he's super humble. Sometimes I try to get him to not be so humble.
Yes.
I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
you need to beat your chest a little bit. Nah, bro, nah.
Yeah.
Beat your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really super humble.
And he has a very high IQ. I don't know if people know that. Jaron is very intelligent.
Right.
So that, with humility, with God's guidance, and well, then you'll be seeing the results of it. You know.
Another young man that's on his way of becoming quickly another gospel legend. What would you tell your younger self right now? In everything, every aspect of your younger self, younger ministry, younger marriage, self, your younger self. What advice would you give to your younger self?
Stop and smell the flowers. I've never taken a real break. Like, I've taken a break from music, and you just maybe take a week or two or whatever. But I've never taken a vacation, what people would call a vacation or a holiday. After I went through what I went through, that was that for me.
Right.
But before that, it was just go time.
Just go time.
Just go time. And people don't know that when they miss me on stage, it's because I am in studio 24/0.
Right.
Working. So it's studio, stage, ministry, outreach, out the country, back inside. Same thing again, studio, stage, ministry, outreach. Studio, stage, ministry, outreach. And that cycle was going on for years.
I want to say thank you so much for being open, candid.
Yeah.
Even before I said, Koen, I want to ask you questions that not to cause no, because we're not about the views. I believe that this interview, as we were speaking early in the year, is to really encourage people. Of course, to let people know where you are, because people love you. Let them know you're okay.
Yes.
All right. But what is in the cards for Koen? I know you said God have something bubbling. But what you see yourself? What do you have in the cards coming up?
Well, my wife and I, we started a video production to her business, right? So we're doing videos now. I started back the studio, not full studio as yet, but started back the studio and doing work.
You all in Tobago?
So yes, we live Tobago.
I could say that.
Yeah, man.
So you all started a production company?
Yes, we did. We put out a video. We did a song for a guy in Tobago, KJB, Carol Boys.
Okay.
And we have more things coming. So that's where we at right now. I am getting songs, she's getting songs. So we have them there, but we're not trying to run back out here and just be putting out music. And it had to make sense, and at the same time, I'm not trying to be bad, it had to make dollars.
Yeah, true.
So figuring that out, because times change, you can't run out there and sell CDs again. Figuring that out is where we at right now. Yeah.
Are we expecting, we could get excited to see a little Koen Duncan running around in the near future? What about your thoughts on family like that?
We working on it.
Because I couldn't imagine all of this get at a lot.
Yeah.
Where is the little war veteran?
Yeah.
A war veteran!
Yeah, we get at a lot. Her grandmother gave us a buffin when that was yesterday. So
well, you know the grannies.
Yeah, boy. So sometimes talking to God, I say, God, what fun, you ain't have it any cards for me or for us. But God has been so faithful that I believe that it will come in the right time.
Man, I want to give you the opportunity to share with advice from the legend himself to the younger artists coming up.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them before we leave?
Find economical ways. Of course, all right, let me start with the spiritual aspect. You need to have a real relationship with God. Because if it is you're just doing it because you have a talent and people say you're singing good, you would soon recognize that as get stale quick. Right? Because it takes a lot to put this out. So your conviction, why it is you do it, has to have substance, right? And that comes from a relationship with God. In addition to that, you need to figure out economical ways to get your music out there, because it's not like before. Before we had CDs.
Yeah.
And with CDs, I made money. I was able to survive.
We could have sell
You understand?
direct sales, as you call it.
Yes. And somebody support you, they come out to an event, bam. But now, you spending 45.
That's your thing.
Yeah. You spending $4,500 to $5,500 on a song. And then it's not like a long time. You can't just release a song. You have to put out visuals. Right?
Yeah.
So you have to put out visuals.
And then, go ahead.
And then when you don't do all that work with artwork, visuals, and a single, you ain't getting no streams.
Hey boy,
you ain't getting.
For pause reason, I never really watch it. Like,
bro,
I understand something was missing, and as you say, the CD aspect was a direct sales.
Yeah, that's how we made money.
Jadee, that's how we supposed to.
Big man, I would go to an event with 30, 40 CDs and get half sold.
Boy,
plus
every single event.
Yeah, plus the blessing, whatever, the understanding for the honorarium. And you are able to now live. You understand? If you spending all this money, and with the internet, the bar raise, the quality of the music you putting out. Because people going from your song to a Kirk Franklin to a
Right.
DJ Nicholas, your quality has to be up there.
Yeah.
So you have to spend your coin.
Yeah, and CDs and flash and whatever hardware exchange of music is it's in the same boat. People you can't even really. Now, I think Brandon did his flash and he was selling or whatever, but it's not really the norm.
Yeah.
People ain't buying no flash.
So things like Patreon, I think I had the name correct.
Patreon, that's right.
Patreon,
subscription based.
We researching these things. We need to find ways to get money in our pockets. Otherwise, this is not going to last.
Wow.
And people might listen to what I say and say, he talking madness. Wait and see. The price. The price. And a long time people used to say the candle costing more than the funeral. Right now, the candle is way past the funeral in terms of cost. So if nothing is coming back into these young artists in terms of financially, they are not going to continue doing it, and that would be the end of it. Right? Because all the soca artists that are doing it, all the secular artists that are doing it, they have events. So it has moved from CD sales to live shows.
Right.
We never used to make money off a live. You could just get a little something.
A little honorary, a little envelope.
But if you think to yourself that you're gonna do live events to give you enough money to go back into the studio or to do a music video, you had to do 200. You had to do 200 live events in gospel to do one song. And I ain't trying to be bad, but that's kind of one of the reasons why I watching the singing and the coming back out like, I have a wife.
Yeah, we like all have it. It had to make sense. It had to make sense. Closing thoughts, as we say on our podcast. What are your closing thoughts from Koen? From Kairos?
Bro, I have so many things that I want to share, but I will say this. We need to start having conversations. Everybody's in their own corner doing their own thing, and it is not good. It's not good for anything, right? So we need to start back building community. We need to start back connecting with each other. We need to put down the cell phone and the social media and start really connecting with each other, because that's what's going to bring back that vibe and that feel, that camaraderie that is needed for us to continue doing this, for the younger ones to be able to do it. Yeah. So discussions, start a podcast, start a topic. Let's get, and not just for talking, for answers, for solutions, for guidance. Yeah.
Of course, are you interested? Do you want people? Because normally we'll end up and say, give them the socials. Are you on the socials? Are you not going to check your Instagram? Are you on the Instagram or the...
I on Instagram.
You unblock people?
No, I ain't.
Are you still in unblock nobody?
I ain't start back following people.
So you don't need to put out your socials because people waste their time. You're not on TikTok? Because I know TikTok would have...
actually, I think on TikTok because and TikTok linked to your Facebook. No?
Nah.
Yes, and you could sign up.
Is it?
You could sign up.
That TikTok is a whole different thing,
You
man.
can have no. I think you can have a TikTok account through your Facebook now, because, well, let me not say that.
But
I
that's-
think so.
Yeah, so that's how you're on TikTok like that?
Yeah, like I've seen.
That's pretty sad, bro, because, you're not on TikTok. You're not...
No, like, but Jadee.
But you have always been...
Yeah,
you pretty sucked a lot in social media.
Yes, and I think the reason for that is I never saw the I never saw the sense in it. The hype. I ain't drink that Kool-Aid,
Nah, that's where I feel I might have to disagree with you. Bro.
Yeah, and that's cool
a
because
power of social
because you
media.
could teach me, but when it is
I know about all of that, but
when it is I link with people, like for instance, I went on stage for Jaron event and ministered. It blessed people, thank God. Bro, my phone ain't stop buzzing.
yeah,
Since that. So now I have to go through and reply because of the type of person I am. I'm not gonna leave messages.
leave people there.
As much as I see, I would reply. That's a whole job by itself. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So like me and wifey, we ain't really get to spend no time together for these couple of days.
Yeah.
Because of the thing and all right, yes. And I love people. Even though I don't be in the mix, I love people. So
Right.
if somebody message me, I would message them back. Yeah.
Koen Duncan broke his silence. My name is Jadee. Man, thank you so much.
No problem at all.
I know we could go on and
Yeah,
on
I
and
feel
on.
like it
That's
was
why
so
we should have
short.
do a live, We should have do a live, but maybe next time we'll have you and your wife come across the private can live and we can have
no
a part two. Guys, if you want to see that, comment below. My name is Jadee. Koen, thank you so much.
No problem.
And bless your wife for releasing you.
Yes.
Yeah, man. It was legend, bro. Only could talk to me, only can't speak to me. Come on. Cut. She's like... Thank you to the Cara Hotels for opening their doors to us. If you're looking for comfort, tranquility, and safe space to work and relax, I definitely recommend the Cara Hotels. The rooms are very huge, clean, and spacious for any individual workspace or family relaxation time. It's also the home of the very popular and trending Zest Bistro for all your dinner, dining, and cocktail after work needs. For a relaxing evening around the pool, it's just perfect for that, or to just swim your stresses away. Cara Hotel, located at Southern Main Road, Claxton Bay, Trinidad, Couva. Give them a call today, 659-2272. That's 659-2272. Cara Hotels, I definitely recommend it to anyone.